It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the South region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors South.
Hi everybody, I'm so happy to have you along for this week's show. I'd like to welcome you in right behind me to a fantastic playground for beach activities, for recreation, for sport, for fun, and for fishing. This is Port Aransas, Texas, located a little south and east of Corpus Christi, Texas. It is situated in a perfect position for lots of great fishing. Now, you can't tell it by the weather at the moment, but we have basically had to sit in our hotel over at the dunes for 2.5 days, waiting on the rain to stop and the wind to stop blowing. It's been blowing 35 to 40 miles an hour for 2.5 days. We've got a brand new Mako 21 LTS that we've been itching to get out in the bay and have not been able to get it in the water until right now. However, things are beginning to look up. We've got a little bit of a break in the wind. Hope we'll get out there and show you some fishing. It'll be a miracle if we catch anything. The tides are high, the water's muddy because of all this wind, but we're gonna give it the college try, see what happens. In the meantime, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our insider reporter team from your favorite lakes, rivers, and bays. So right now, let's get the Mako out in the bay, get started fishing, and we take you back to the FSN studios for your weekend plan.
The Salooner tables are forecasting mixed conditions for weekend game fish activity. Saturday is listed as good, while Sunday is predicted to have poor conditions. Look for the best action to begin on Saturday afternoon at about 1 o'clock. The sun will rise at 5:56 and set at 8:19. And we had a new moon this week, so evenings will feature a moon that is only 8% visible. Stay with us, we have all your fishing updates from around the southeast on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster Elite Angler Mike Iaconelli to answer your Ask the Pro question.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Mercury Marine, celebrating 75 years of marine excellence. By Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker.
Whoa, what have I got? I got bit. Looks like a redfish. It is a redfish. All right, beautiful. Look at him in that sunlight, right over the top of a grass bed. There we go. All right. We caught a red, folks. Welcome back to the show. That fish took over 2 days to get here. We, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have been battling the weather ever since we pulled into Port Aransas. First it rained about 2.5 inches, and then the wind turned around out of the north and blew 25 to 40 miles an hour for 2 straight days. But we were finally able to get out here. The wind's still blowing quite a bit, but our Mako 21 LTS was tough enough to get us out through some big waves, got onto some flats, and finally caught what is now my very first ever saltwater game fish that I've ever caught on my own. Nobody else in the boat, no help, no guides, no charter, no nothing. Just out here drifting a big flat, battling every kind of weather element possible, and that is a historic fish, my first ever saltwater game fish on my own. I've caught thousands of redfish and thousands of trout in my life, but never on my own. So I'm really proud of that fish. We're gonna let it go back. And gave me a good fight. And there, away he goes. All right, here in Tennessee and Kentucky is Crispin Powell.
Hey guys, in Tennessee and Kentucky right now, the main factor that's affecting the fishing has been the weather. We've had some major weather systems come through from the northwest of the country, and we've had some cold nights. It hasn't really turned the fishing off, but it hasn't really advanced it either. Shellcracker fishing, we've been talking so much about that, it's really starting to dwindle down. A lot of them have spawned. The bluegill, however, still remaining pretty steady. Throughout the Tennessee, Kentucky region, the catfish bite is got a lot of hype right now. Catfish are really spawning there in rocky areas next to deep water. The crappie bite offshore, the spider riggers are catching them really good. The big sandy area of the Tennessee River is really hot right now. There's probably 4,000 boats in there today. It looks like the Spanish Armada. Outside of that, the striper bite on the Cumberland River, live shiners or shad or wake baits, topwater baits have been accounting for some big fish anywhere along that river below a lock or dam where there's current generation. Aside from that, the bass fishing, Barren River's really good right now in Kentucky. Chickamauga in East Tennessee is hot. The flipping bite on Barkley's really good. The bass are really starting to make their way out from around the bank. There's a bunch of little fish still guarding fry around the bushes, a bunch of males, but by and large the bigger fish have made their way back out. Guys, as the weather stabilizes for summer, the fishing's gonna get better. And all I can tell you is come to Tennessee, Kentucky and give it a shot. We'll see you on the water. God bless.
Oh, there's one, got it right up here by the boat. Not much of a trout, but it's the right species. All right, there we go. Got our first redfish. Now we've got our first trout. It's not the size we're looking for, but it's a start. It looks like we're in for a great day today, so something good's gonna happen today. Stay with us. We'll be right back to Port Aransas, Texas. Do a little more redfish and trout fishing. Don't go anywhere. Got him. Redfish. Just an average size red right there. All right, welcome back everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors. We're at Port Aransas today. After waiting out a terrible weather situation, we finally gotten on the water. There, little shrimp tail. And there's just a good fighting redfish. They've got to be over 20 inches long to be kept here, and that one would be, he'd be close. He might be 20. Let him go back. All right, well, let me give you a little bit of information about Port Aransas if you've never been here before. It's started way back in the 1800s, and they intended for this place to be a big port, but it became one of the greatest places in the world to catch a tarpon. Back in the 1930s through about the early 1950s, this was known worldwide as the tarpon capital of the world. In fact, the city was originally named Tarpon, Texas, before it was changed to Port Aransas. I got to go through the Tarpon Inn, which is a historic old hotel. It was the central nervous system for all the tarpon fishing back in the 30s and 40s. And if you come here, you've got to go through and see this. I took a quick little picture here. They've got a big wall where all the big tarpon that get caught, people take a scale off of it, write their name and where they're from, and tack it to this wall. And there's an entire wall covered with tarpon scales with people's names on them. It's really cool to see, plus all the old pictures from back in the 30s. This was an incredible place. Now the salinity of the water has since changed and the tarpon have moved on. It's a redfish and speckled trout destination right now. But anyway, it's got a lot of history, a great museum. Don't miss the museum if you come through here. Rick Pratt is the proprietor of the museum and the boat building company right next door where they build these classic old wooden boats. It's just a cool place. You can't miss all these sites in the history of Port Aransas. Hey, let's move along and get you some more local fishing reports.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Fox Sports Outdoors Coastal Fishing Report. This part of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where the fishing fun is year-round and where the offshore fishing is world-class and the inshore fishing is just as great too. So come to the true South, Mississippi. Well, this week of fishing has really turned on throughout the South. Summer fishing has really started to kick into full gear. I was talking to Bo Hamilton at Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and he tells me that the yellowfin tuna up to 50 pounds are just doing great. The water can be a little off color close to the shore, and sometimes you got to watch that offshore rough water. But he says he was with some friends and they were at the Thunder Horse rig and they caught a bunch of yellowfins to 50 pounds. Ivan Strahan says that amberjacks, sharks, jacks, and also cobia are on some of the offshore rigs in about 275 feet of water. Over in Alabama, Jay O'Brien says that the rain and discolored water has really hurt a lot of the fishing inshore and close to the beaches. Over in Georgia, my good friend Greg Hilder is catching plenty of blacktip and spinner sharks. These fish are 80 to 100 pounds. Greg's working that water off the Golden Isles in southeast Georgia, particularly out of St. Simons. They're right behind the shrimp boat. It's great fishing. You catch 2 or 3 of those sharks in the morning. Also out of St. Simons, Tim Cutting is catching big redfish up to 20 pounds inshore in creeks. He's got a fine shell, but those creeks are holding some very big redfish. He also says the flounder run is starting pretty good, and he's catching a lot of good sized flounder around docks and also the mouths of small creek runouts.
Brought to you by Swirly Bird Spinners, the easiest way to catch lots of fish. It spins from the time it enters the water till the retrieve ends. This Swirly Bird really works. Throughout Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi, spotted bass are active right now. We've had some spring cold snaps that have delayed the spawn, so the spots are still biting in the shallows. Lake Lanier covers 38,000 acres north of Atlanta, and it's usually known as a deep water worm fishing impoundment. But right now the spots are in 5 to 15 feet of water and they're vulnerable to shallow water tactics. Tossing small crankbaits or inline spinners will catch a lot of these fish. Bill Vanderford has been guiding for more than 40 years on Lake Lanier. He's an expert on catching spots with inline spinners during the spawn.
Since spotted bass spawn in much deeper water than largemouth, what we look for when we're looking for spawning bass is just nothing looking moderate clay banks. And we cast our swirly birds up toward the bank, but not right on the bank. We catch the fish mostly halfway back to a boat when we're sitting in about 20 feet of water. And just fish it down the contour of the bank slowly. It's a pretty dumb thing to do, but it's easy for anybody.
Lake Lanier has a large population of spotted bass in the 2-pound range with plenty of 4+ pounders. And don't be surprised if you hook into one that tips the scales at more than 6 pounds. But the key to finding these fish in May is water depth. Spots won't be up on the bank where the largemouths hang out.
Boat coming under the boat. All right, hold up. Wow, he just hit it like a freight train. There he comes. Beautiful. That's cool. Man, I was about finished with my cast and was about to reel it up, and that thing just came flying out of the water and just slammed it. Wow. There's another good redfish for you right there. One more back in the water. All right. This is my brand new MotorGuide XI5 wireless remote control trolling motor. You've probably been wondering what this is that's been hanging around my neck. That's the remote control. This thing will do all kinds of stuff. Not only can you run it on manual, guide it from anywhere in the boat, but you can push a button here and hit an anchor. You can stop yourself anywhere and it'll just hold you right in the wind, lock into a GPS coordinate, keep you right on a spot. It'll run in a straight line. It'll go whatever speed you want it to go. If you want to go a ½ mile an hour, you can click the cruise button and it'll go a ½ mile an hour. It'll do so much, I don't have time to tell you about it all right now. But this is my first experience with it. This is the saltwater version. There's a freshwater version as well. You can check it all out. Go to our website, click on the YouTube logo, then go to the how-to videos and you can see all the videos and all the information about the brand new MotorGuide XI5 trolling motor. You gotta check this out, it's fantastic. We'll be right back to Port Aransas.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing. By Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Oh, he's a freight train. Easy, work drag, work for me drag. Man, that one took me a little doing to get him even halfway under control. And I don't really have him all that much under control. Look at that gorgeous fish. I'm gonna have to get the net for this one. What a great redfish, look at this. All right, I caught a good one. All right, there we go. There's a nice Port Aransas redfish right there. What a gorgeous place this is. I cannot get over this place. We're not keeping redfish today, so we're gonna let that one go back. Watch him in this beautiful gin clear water. Get your bearings, darling. I want to show you something. We stuck the polarizing lens on the camera just so that we could cut the glare and show you all these beautiful grass beds and these sandy holes in the grass. And that's the way you fish for the redfish and the trout here. You drift along here in East Flats, off Ransom Island, off Dagger Island, a place called Stedman's. They're just beautiful, pristine grass beds running for miles and miles. And then they've got these beautiful white sandy holes in them, and the redfish and trout will stay around the edges of those holes. So all I'm doing is drifting down through here, making long casts at these sandy spots. And these redfish are just coming up and nailing it. All right, let's go to Inglis Glover in the Carolinas.
Hey folks, Captain E here with your Carolinas report, this week brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina, we're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. And another Memorial Day has come and gone, and in years past I would always signify it with the beginning of summer, but this year I got out and enjoyed it with some wonderful soldiers from Fort Bragg and the 82nd Airborne Division. Most of the soldiers that I was with are active duty wounded warriors who are still in recovery from an injury they have sustained either in the active battle or at some point in time during their enlistment. You veterans in active duty, we really appreciate your service, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the ability to get out and enjoy the outdoors like we do. And talking about the outdoors right now, the saltwater side of things, the dolphin bite continues to really be hot. If you can find a mat of grass out there, stick around, get ready, cut some chunks up, and just start pitching and bailing as the fish start swimming out from under those mats of grass. And in the nearshore side of things, the bigger flounder are starting to come into those reef areas. And in the freshwater side of things, our good friends up on High Rock Lake report that the water temperature is getting perfect for those channel, blues, and flatheads to start into their spawn mode. Make sure you concentrate on those areas that are shaded and in the woods and in the trees, because those fish are going to start moving into that area for the spawn, and you can catch some of your biggest catfish of the year right now if you'll get in there and set up and get ready to target these spawning catfish.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By MotorGuide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro feature, where viewers can get insider tips from professional anglers. This week's question comes from Terry, who would like to know, what's the best way to rig a plastic worm? What type and size hook? For the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Mike Iaconelli.
You know, there's two ways that I love to rig a plastic worm. The first one is Texas style. And you know, Texas style is using an offset hook, and you want to pick the hook size based on the size of the worm. So a 5 or 6 inch worm, use a 2/0 hook. A 7 or 8 inch worm, use a 3/0 hook. And then a big 10 or 12 inch worm, use a 5 or a 6/0 hook. The second way I like to rig a plastic worm is called wacky style. And all that means is you're taking a hook and you're rigging the plastic worm directly in the middle of the worm. And for wacky rigging, I like to use a 1/0 or a 2/0 offset hook. Rig it right in the middle, throw it out, twitch your rod, you're gonna catch a lot of big fish.
Thanks, Mike. If you need help from one of the pros, visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now let's see who wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Hey, before we get to our Costa Catch of the Week winner, we are back at the marina at Port Aransas, and I can't tell you how impressed I was with our brand new Mako 21 LTS. We got in some rough seas out there, some big waves. That boat handled it all fantastic. I was extremely impressed, and we'll be telling you much more about our brand new Mako boat as the season goes along. Right now, though, I want to tell you something about the Mercury 4-stroke engine. Brand new engine that we used, and I was thoroughly impressed with it as well. I don't have time to go into the details, but if you want to see our video, simply go to the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the YouTube logo and then the how-to videos, and you'll see all the reasons why I am a huge fan of the Mercury 4-stroke outboards like the 150 that we have on the back of our Mako. Now it's time for the Coast to Catch of the Week winner. Congratulations to Pamela Leggett of Kingsland, Georgia, showing a 38-inch redfish she caught at St. Mary's Inlet, Georgia, her first redfish ever. If you would like to have a chance to win your very own free pair of Costa sunglasses, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Coast to Catch of the Week box on the right-hand side of the page, follow the instructions, and you could be our next winner. If you'd like to see all of the Costas, simply go back to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo, and it'll take you to the place where you can see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, including the frame style I was wearing on this week's show called Rockport. Next up, it's time for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, the right gear to catch speckled trout and redfish here at Port Aransas. It all begins on the right side of your frame with the brand new Strike King Trocar Flats jig head. It's got a super sharp, high-end Trocar hook embedded in it, and it's available only at Academy Sports and Outdoors stores. On the left-hand side of the frame, it's the Strike King Redfish Magic Spinnerbait. We caught several of these good redfish in that particular color. Then in the middle of your screen, we could not have caught these fish without the brand new Lew's Speed Spool inshore saltwater bait cast reel. It's geared for saltwater fishing. It's all beefed up with lots of corrosion-resistant parts on the inside, will resist years of saltwater use. You can see all the details at the Lew's website. Go to our website, click on the Lew's logo. Newton's third law of physics says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's like a bouncing ball. Same amount of force going down propels that ball back up. Humans are a lot like that. We tend to live life in the extremes, bouncing back and forth from one extreme to the opposite. My life mentor, Alan Toppy, gave me some good advice years ago, and he says, life is best lived balanced between the extremes. Good food for thought. Hey, our thanks to the Port Aransas Chamber of Commerce and Ann Vaughn for all of the accommodations and all of the great treatment we received here at Port Aransas. They've got a super office right in town. They can help you on your trip here. Also, our thanks to the Dunes condominiums right on the beach at Port Aransas. A beautiful view overlooking the beach. You can see all of their information on your screen if you'd like to book a room there. And our thanks to Charter Captain Frankie Eichels for helping put us on all those good fish out in the Port Aransas Bay area. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll be on next Thursday at 6 p.m. and a re-air Sunday at 8 a.m. And if that time is ever affected by anything, you'll be the first to know right on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. From Port Aransas, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.